I know that I come on here sometimes to talk to you guys about financial freedom, about why you should be strengthening your cash flow, about opportunities in the real estate market, and even about updates within Social Security. But there are some days when I just kind of fire up my laptop and I swear, y'all, I just close it right away. But I just can't do that knowing that I have a duty to attend to, and that's to bring you guys the truth. So what did I see? Well, for context, the United States of America now negotiates with terrorists.
The breakthrough comes amid tension. Earlier this summer, the U.S. sent additional warships and Marines to the Gulf after Iran attempted to seize 2 oil tankers. Today, the White House declined to detail the deal, citing negotiations as both delicate and ongoing. In exchange, Iran will be able to access $6 billion in a restricted account in South Korea. Those funds will be transferred to Qatar. Once there, Iran will be able to use those funds for purchases permitted under U.S. sanctions. Now, the White House said this is not ransom and no U.S. taxpayer dollars are involved. But in the meantime, Iran claims that the U.S. will also release and pardon 5 Iranian prisoners.
So not only did we get screwed with the Russia deal where we released a guy whose nickname is literally, let me go ahead and prepare myself for this. It is literally the Merchant of Death. But with Iran, we're releasing the same number of prisoners. And heck, that deal isn't good enough. Here's $6 billion to fund terrorism. Like, seriously? Maybe we should just offer a sundae and some fries too, right? Did they forget about this?
Should that exchange be made? Should that kind of a swap be entertained with terrorists?
You know our policy on that, Michael. We don't either negotiate or make exchanges or pay ransoms. We think that results in just more cash floating around with these very hateful characters who will just have more ability to ply their trade.
Well, welcome to the new world, huh? Representative Claudia Tenney, she slammed the deal and said that the blood of Iranian people are now on President Biden's hands. Do you agree with this? And related to that, well, at least I hope not, that related to the story, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s request for Secret Service protection has been renewed, and it all seems to be like on President Biden's hands to decide if it's okay to give it to him. Now, let me go ahead and add this up. So RFK Jr., the man who's right behind the president when it comes to polls for the Dems right at the moment, he's asking for protection because he knows he's a target. I mean, it's happened to a lot of other Kennedys, right? Now, with all that being said, do you think that the White House would allow him to have this protection? Of course not. This is all being raised because there's some guy who allegedly wanted to kill the president and the FBI had them killed first. Seriously, that's what happened recently. Within the same day, Fernando Villavicencio, another presidential hopeful in Ecuador, was killed at a campaign rally. So yeah, this is raising a lot of red flags for Kennedy since Villavicencio is also anti-corruption in the government.
To Ecuador, where the presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio was killed earlier this week, less than 2 weeks before elections were due to take place. He was a vocal critic of corruption and drug crime that has beset Ecuador. Robin Brandt has more.
2 daughters say goodbye to their father. Inside the flag-draped coffin, the man some in Ecuador wanted to be their next president. One supporter can't contain himself. He calls the police hypocrites for failing to protect Fernando Villavicencio. After his assassination, this country is now in a nationwide state of emergency, on the edge of a precipice. But his government-provided police guard couldn't prevent this 4 days ago.
Now you gotta wonder, why is the Biden administration saying no to protection for RFK Jr.? Does RFK not deserve Secret Service protection? Or is there another reason? Is there a different reason? I guess that's something that only the president knows, huh? I guess we could ask experts or professors, right? And speaking of professors, right? A Harvard Law School professor is saying that the indictments brought by special counsel Jack Smith could backfire in the worst way for him. You see, Alan Dershowitz, the Harvard professor, says that Smith took out some context from Trump's words back in January 6, 2021. So Smith pushed hard to say that Trump told supporters to fight like hell, but wouldn't you know it, he forgot that the former president also told supporters to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Sounds like a huge deal to omit, huh? So the funny thing is while Smith indicted Trump, he himself could be charged with fraud or still charging Trump for all he knows. He absolutely has an idea that Trump told people to be peaceful, because if not, then it probably would mean that it's all right to lie to a grand jury jury so long as you get what you want, right? Or it's okay to lie so long as it indicts Donald Trump. Smith also tried to subpoena Trump's Twitter account, or X account now. Wait a second, I didn't mean to say X account, spelled as EX account. It's still Trump's. Man, they've made their platform to be a little bit confusing to say the least, huh? But with the name change comes another change, the protection of our privacy. You see, Smith didn't want the search warrant to be shared to Trump, meaning that X or Twitter had to agree to a non-disclosure agreement because they said that if Trump found out about it, he could possibly destroy evidence.
What would prosecutors be looking for on Trump's Twitter account that wasn't already public in his tweets?
Yeah, Jake, if it was just Donald Trump's public tweets, those are already publicly available. You could just get them by subpoena, which is a much easier method. The fact that they went and got a search warrant tells me prosecutors were looking for something more, and that could include draft but unsent tweets. And I base that on a couple things. First of all, I know from my own experience, prosecutors and investigators often want to look into draft emails, draft texts, because you can get some valuable insight into a person's state of mind. And second, if you look at the January 6th committee report, there are several mentions throughout there of draft memos and draft documents because, again, they can be really revealing as to a person's state of mind.
So Elon Musk and company argued that this agreement violated the First Amendment, and well, the judge then slapped them with a $350,000 fine. Wow. So it's wrong for Twitter to try and protect the privacy of the American people? And if they say no, they get fined? Does that sound like a normal way of justice for you guys? I don't know. By the way, if you guys own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below this video. Now, I'm feeling like Trump may get fined too. Well, Trump being Trump, I just can't keep quiet about his legal issues.
The case is a ridiculous case. It's a First Amendment case. But we don't want Trump to speak. So they take away your rights on First Amendment. Now they sue because so now I have one of these lunatic reporters back there saying, "Sir would like to talk to you about your case." Or, "I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about it." Somehow that's not good for votes. Do you agree? When we say I can't talk, I will talk about it. I will. They're not taking away my First Amendment right.
So Trump also commented on the date requested by Smith for his trial, which is January 2nd next year. And again, since Trump is Trump, he says that the idea is crazy as it's one day into the new year and would create maximum election interference with Iowa, as wouldn't you also know it? It's a little over 2 weeks before Iowa's first in the nation caucuses that's scheduled for January 15th. But you know what Smith said? He said that they're doing this because this is what the people of America want. And while I don't have 300 million people in this community yet, I do have almost 500,000. And of that 500,000, you guys are the sharpest minds on YouTube. So I'm gonna ask you guys, is this what you want? Now, if you ask me, I know what people need. I mean, we're seeing the horrific disasters that have already hit us recently. The death toll in the Maui fire is almost at 100. And honestly, kind of broke my heart to see footage of what happened. And what kind of grinds my gears here is that these people, they need urgent help, right? So what does the Biden administration do? Well, he's asked Congress for funding, but instead of just providing for disaster response, which included firefighter pay, he also chose to include billions of dollars that will also be sent to, drumroll please, the country of the Ukraine. Yeah, more money going to those guys. Like, what do you even say to that? Now, on the one hand, we want to help our people that need desperate attention. It's an emergency, but the flipping priorities of this administration is their loyalty in sending money overseas. You could argue that it isn't, but yeah, good luck with that, right? But what are your thoughts on all this? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Before I go, I just want to tell you guys that I really appreciate spending the time with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Y'all be safe.